Hey friends, it's Missy. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2018 June Hip Kits for this. And right away, when I opened my papers, when I first received the kits, I fell in love with this lemon slice paper from Pink Fresh Studio, and I really wanted to use it as a starting point for my layout. And so I'm going to use that. And then this paper from Pink Fresh also jumped out at me for some cute things to fussy cut. And then I pulled out some yellow cardstock and I went through all of the embellishments, and there are a ton of the Pink Fresh Studio embellishments to go along with a lot of the papers. And it's the new collection. I think it's called Simple and Sweet. There's chipboard, there's puffy stickers, there are die cuts and enamel dots. There's also some stickers from Pink Fresh Studio, things that Kim Watson actually designed, and just so many pretty things. And I love that periwinkle blue color. I wanted to incorporate that into my layout along with lemons. So I created a lemon layout a couple months ago, and we got some of the Maggie Holmes lemon paper, and so this is a whole different look with lemons. And so I thought I would do another lemon layout, but with a whole different take and a whole different title and theme, so to speak. So the first thing I thought I would do is fussy cut out some of these groups of lemons. I guess these are lemons. They're yellow. They look like lemons to me. So we're going to go with lemons. And so I cut out some of those, and then I also cut out some of those sketchy flowers from that other pattern paper that I showed you. But I wind up not using the flowers, but I thought that they were really pretty. And before I decided to not use them, once I get my design going, I wanted to color them. So I pulled out the two shimmers paints from the color kit this month, and those are actually two brand new shimmers colors. They're the pink one is called Pinko de Mayo, and the peach one is called Going Peach Side. And I just dabbed a little bit on there and smudged it with my finger. And then my focus for this layout today is to use one of the Hip Kit cut files. So yeah, right away you could see what happened there. I know my video is moving fast, but I cut out some of the lemon slices because I'm using lemons, and I thought this was the perfect cut file. And I tried to cut out some lemons on that sheet of acetate or the transparency paper, and I guess my blade didn't cut deep enough, so I had to kind of go back with my scissors and finish cutting them out. And I had to use a craft knife to cut out the slices, but it didn't take that long. There were cut lines in it, but it just didn't cut all the way through. So here's kind of what I'm thinking. I want to do a vertical crooked like design with these three photos of me and Reese from a few years ago. We were just hanging out on the couch, and she started laughing, and we started giggling and took some pictures. And I may have already scrapped these before. I don't even know. That's happened to me before. But here's where I'm trying to work in those flowers, and they just didn't really go with the whole lemon circle thing. So I decided to just leave those out, and I'm going to save those for a new or another layout coming, hopefully. So I want to kind of do a vertical idea here, but I don't want the photos lined up in a perfectly straight line. I want them to kind of be staggered and off center and crooked a little bit. I added some tissue paper, and that's a little bit of adhesive foam just to raise them up off the page. And then I don't want to move anything because I like how it looks. And so I'm just going to take some time to glue everything together, but not glue it to the background yet. And I'm going to be able to move each picture around, and it's going to have these lemon slices already glued together. So everything kind of moves as one big unit. So you can see what I'm talking about here. So everything's kind of attached. And I decided to go with white cardstock as my background instead of the yellow because I thought it was going to be yellow overkill with the whole idea of lemons. So I added some clear gesso to some of the white cardstock from the cardstock kit, and then I'm going to go back and use the other shimmers product that we got in the color kit this month. That is Vibes in Frostbite, and it is that beautiful periwinkle-ish type color that is all in that Pink Fresh Studio collection. So I thought I would contrast the blue against all the yellow in the lemons. So that's all I'm doing here. I'm using the plastic packaging technique and a little bit of water, and then dabbing it up. I'm kind of going quickly with this because I just want some splotches of watercolor behind everything. So I'm going to bring it all back and set it back on here and kind of see how it looks. So you can see there how a lot of it gets covered up, but a lot of it is peeking through and around everything. So sometimes when you're doing a mixed media background like this, it can look like, oh, I've done way too much. This is way too much. But sometimes you have to do too much because a lot of it gets covered up, and it depends on how much you want showing and how much you don't want showing. Now, I thought I would soften it up just a little bit, so I'm smudging some white gesso over it just to kind of make it not so bold, because I don't want the blue to be so dark. I just want it to be kind of subtle and light in the background. So here I go, just starting to play around with everything. I pulled out basically everything that was yellow or that had lemons on it, and I'm just gonna start to play around. I want to pull out some of the blue from the background, and my first color scheme thought was I'm just gonna make this yellow and blue, and I am gonna wind up adding in touches of pink and the peach also. And that's just a roll of paper towels that I keep close by, and I just roll it right over everything. And if you dab up your paint splatters that way, they stay in a circle. Because sometimes in the past when I've done splatters and the splatters turned out to be really perfect little circles, and then I try to dab it up with a napkin and just smudge the napkin on there, it smudges the circle and makes it look like a blob. But if you use the roll of paper towels, it just rolls right over and rolls right back, and everything stays a circle, if that makes any sense. I decided that these white die cut lemons needed some color, and so yeah, they're not lemons anymore because I'm not painting them yellow. For a pop of color, I decided to go with the Going Peach side. It's a light orangey peach color with lots of shimmer, just to add some another color. I felt like it needed something else, and so now we have some lemons that aren't exactly lemons, but that's okay. I like how it looks. I like that pop of color. Now for my thread addition, I actually have that blue color thread, and so I thought it would be perfect to add some messy thread tangles around each photo in that darker, well, I guess it's a little bit darker, but it's a very close match to that Pink Fresh Studio blue color. And it also matches the shimmer spray. So I add a little bit around each photo just to add a little bit of texture and color and a little bit of something else. Now I like how this is looking, so I'm going to go ahead and glue down the photos, the lemons, the die cuts, and everything. And I love how those, the transparency lemons, they really make a nice pop of bright yellow and just add something extra to all the layers. So at this point, I'm just going to start to play around with some of the embellishments. There's epoxy stickers. I wanted to see if I needed some more of that pops of blue, or if I wanted to add in more yellow or more peach. I just wasn't sure, so I just take a lot of time actually to pull things out, stick it down, see if it looks okay. And you never know what may look good in a certain spot. You may like it, you may not, so try it. If it doesn't work, then don't use it. Save it for another layout. It's funny how some items can just look too much for one layout, but then it's the perfect addition on another layout. So I really wanted to use some of those puffy stickers. In the meantime, I got on Pinterest and I was thinking I need a fun quote about lemons. And I searched for lemon quotes. I mean, who types in lemon quotes? But I did. And I found something right away, and I thought it was perfect. Instead of seize the day, I'm going to make my title squeeze the day. And I thought, I absolutely think that is the cutest title ever, because I'm squeezing her in these pictures. She was laughing. I wasn't hurting her. But I have to kind of, sometimes I have to wrap my arm around her and kind of pull her into me with one arm and then take the picture with the other hand, and she starts laughing and I start tickling her neck and everything. And so I was literally squeezing her, and I thought lemons, squeeze the day, perfect. So that's going to be my title, and I'm going to keep it right where it is over there. And I used Pink Fresh Studio alphas, the perfect blue color, and then the black ones. And what else am I going to do? Just continue to play. I do wind up adding in some of those epoxy circle stickers and then some of these puffy stickers. And then I decided to pull in some of that darker coral color. See that little piece over there that's underneath the day? That's a little chipboard piece that's got XOXO on it. And so I thought I'm going to need some more pops of that darker coral color around the page. And so I'm going to do that with stickers, chipboard, and embellishments. There's just so many cute things in this Pink Fresh collection. And they all, everything looks good. But I didn't want to go too busy because I felt like, the lemons and the circles and the die cuts, everything was getting kind of busy already. But I did want to add something over to the right. So I cut out another lemon slice from that pattern paper. And yeah, I had to glue down my letters, not because the letters didn't stick, but because I added gesso, especially clear gesso. It tends to be a little more gritty and nothing sticks to it. So you always got to add extra glue. And I don't mind that. It's not a big deal, but you do. It's just an extra step that you definitely want to do, or stitch it down. So at this point, I thought I need to add another color. So much for my yellow and blue color scheme, right? So I went through the Project Live cards and found this really cute pink polka dot one. It's one of the 4x6s, and so I just cut out some more circles. I felt like this was turning out to be a circle design anyway, with all the lemons and things on the background, and so I thought this soft pink would be a fun addition. So I scattered some of those around the layout, and then I went with 3 epoxy stickers. I did 2 of the blue ones on the top photo and the bottom photo, and then a yellow one on the middle photo. And so now I've got that darker blue color in a triangle, a visual triangle, up at the top, the bottom, and then over on the right with the squeeze letters. And so it just kind of helps keep your eye moving around when you can coordinate things in a sort of triangle. And that's not something that you have to do. It's just something that I like to do when I can. Now here's some die cuts of those little flowers with the darker coral color on it. And again, that's another little triangle, even though I do have some in the middle also. I'm going to kind of cut this die cut up a little bit and add that color also up around the top and the bottom over on the sides of the photos, because I just felt like they needed an extra color of something right there. And it's just very subtle. It's just a tiny little bit of color that pops out. And then I'm going to play around with some more little pieces that have words on them. I wanted to add that little black piece there. I can't even remember what it says. I can't read it. It's too small. And my layout is actually over there, so I don't have it in front of me. But I also wanted to add in some of these really cute strips of washi tape from Pretty Little Studio. Kim Watson designed those, and I'm going to use a couple of the ones that have, you can't even see it, they're so subtle. They're basically clear, but they've got black dots or black designs on them. And so it just looks kind of like a little, like I doodled with my pen, but it's really just washi tape. And it's a very subtle detail. I know it's hard to see from here, but you can see it probably better in the after photos. Again, here I'm just working on details. I'm going to use the Vicky Booten stamp that says smile, and I'm going to stamp it onto this little square piece that I fussy cut from that Pink Fresh Studio paper. And I'm just trying to create a little bit of a layer here to go underneath this photo to add a little pop of black. Since I added that other sticker underneath the middle picture, I thought I would add something right there just to kind of take up some of that space, since there's a space between the top and the middle photos. Almost finished here. I'm going to add in some lines with my T-square ruler and then add in a little bit of journaling. And then the last thing I'm going to do is come in with some of the Pink Fresh Studio enamel dots. I am going to add yellow dots to the middle of the lemons of the middle that you can see, and then some periwinkle ones scattered around. And that is the final layout. I love how this turned out a little bit different than I had planned, but I love it. I love how those lemons, that lemon paper, totally inspired this whole thing. And the cut file, it matches perfectly. So check that out if you want to create a squeeze the day layout instead of seize the day. I think that turned out really cute. I'm proud of that title. Even though Pinterest gave me the idea, I thought it was very cute. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions about the kits or anything at all. I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great week.